PBA Shark Championship Qualifying. After making match play on both the Viper and the Chameleon, like the previous two patterns, I was hoping to do something good on Shark 2. Main focus going in, though, were to keep balling well, and put up a decent score for the World Championship to put myself in good position for the advancers round when they cut to the 50 advancers, and then bowl 16 games to get into match play for the World Championship for the top 16. So that was the main focus. I started out practice. I had a pretty good, like in the practice session, I had a pretty good look on the gutter on Shark, and I watched B Squad ball in the morning, and Nathan Bohr had a really good look out on the gutter. So I decided to try it. It was okay in practice, so I went with it. It wasn't great, but I did manage to shoot 2-0. Luckily, the scores were quite a bit lower than on Chameleon, so 2-0 wasn't too bad. Thought about moving in, but got an early turkey on our next pair to kind of be like, all right, this is okay. And then I threw. Then I just threw a shot that was a little bit off, and it split. And the next two were not too bad, and they didn't hit the pocket. And I was like, this isn't right. So I moved in and was pretty lost for 2 games. Like I couldn't figure out where to play, what ball to throw, what angles I should be trying to use. I was watching people around. Like I felt like I had to get pretty far left. And the guys on my pair were playing pretty far left and like almost fall back. And then I watched the guys around me, and they were much further right, using a breakpoint a little further right, and had a really good look. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if should I be over here or should I be over here. When I tried being over here, I felt like I had out of bounds and I had hook left of me. When I tried to move over here, every time I missed right, it didn't hook. And it wouldn't go through the pins. So I had minus 37, I think, after the first 4 games, which obviously wasn't good. Like I was still fine for the World Championship, for the cut at least. Like I would need to go for the 60 or for the 12 games of Shark. I would probably need to go like 150 or 200 under to miss the cut there, but you get a little nervous, a little anxious. So we flip ends, and I just decide, all right, we're going down to the more hooking end. I'm just gonna, like my last 2 shots, I was really far left, from really slow, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay left. I'm gonna throw it slow, and hopefully there's a little more room to work with down there. Lanes are broken down a little bit more. What I was fearing is if I tried to move right, that I was moving right at the time where everyone else was starting to move left, and I would kind of get caught in that transition and miss the move. So I moved left. I think I went split, light strike with the face 2, and went like, it doesn't look right. So I switched. I ended up switching a little bit later in the game to a DNA coil, which was really good. Like that was a really good move. I had a 7-10 in the middle of the game, unfortunately, after like a 4 or 5 bagger, and I think I left a 9 pin to only get to 220 that game, but at least that kind of got my nerves under control. I felt like I was doing somewhat the right thing again. And then the last pair was really nice, about a really good game. She had 240 with big double in the 10th, and got to like plus 30 for the day, which obviously not great, but it at least got me in a position where I didn't kill myself in either the Shark or the World Championship. I was about 110 out of the cut, I think, in Shark, and still in 16th in the World Championship. So going into to the second day, I was real my plan was I wasn't going to play the gutter. I'm trying to get the first pair a little bit nicer, playing around the track and playing not left to start, but more like in the track, third arrow out to like 10, 47 feet, so you can't hook it a ton. And I bowled a really good game, just didn't carry very well for 2-teen. I was thrown the physics blackout, went over to the next pair and had to move a little further left due to the other guys bowling there. Ended up switching to phase 2, which got me to 220, but again, like it was just a little bit off. Didn't quite go through the pins the right way, but I was throwing good shots. I had control of the lanes, like I knew what moves to make, and went to the next game. And phase 2 was hitting a little flat. Went to an idle that was also hitting a little flat. So I went back to the phase 2 and managed to kind of force out a turkey with some good shots and a little bit of hand position changes, speed changes. So I got 2-teen there, 60 over for the first 3, and like at the very least, I'm putting up a decent score considering the scoring pace. Ended up moving further left on the next pair, going to the DNA coil just because I felt like I needed something that was cleaner, and I knew that DNA coil from the day before was looking good towards the end of the block, so I wanted to get to that one. And I shot 260 that game, so that 260, like, it gave me, at least I knew like 4 games in, 2 games to go, I'm gonna be in a good position in the World Championship no matter what happens. And it actually also gave me a small chance at making the cut and cashing in the Shark Championship. Unfortunately, game 5 pair was a little bit tricky. Had an early open, ended up switching balls to a pin up, send 25 with a little bit of surface on it, and I probably should have gone to the pin down shiny one, but it was close and I could make it strike. It just wasn't the right ball. So I think I had 190 that game, still okay. Went to the shiny send 25 in the last game, playing pretty far left, and like right lane was a little bit tricky, and I threw one really bad shot over there, but got to 2-teen that game, solid game. Could have been more with 1 or 2 breaks or 1 or 2 better shots. It could have been more, but 13-33 I think I shot that block, which was right on pace with the overall like scoring pace of the cut and everything. So that's a really nice bounce back. Threw the ball really well physically, and it was just I didn't cash. Obviously, I didn't make the cut, but I got to go into the World Championship feeling like, all right, I know what I'm doing. I still have good ball reaction. I'm still throwing the ball well. So that was comforting. Where had I gone, let's say I got -50 the first block and then panicked and didn't know what to do the second block, and I ended up the Shark Championship at like, let's just say even, I would have been in a much worse position. I would have to make up pins to get into the top 16 for the World Championship for match play, and I would have been stressing a lot more, and that would have been a big hit to the confidence also, where now I'm going in confident, I'm going in good mood, and like it felt like a win, even though I finished like 70th in the Shark Championship out of 200 players. It still felt like a win. So, but yeah, that was the Shark Championship. 47 feet kind of bit me a little bit, but at least I managed to make it back, and now we look forward to the World Championship, have a practice session, and then 16 games, 2 8-game blocks on the Earl Anthony 43-foot pattern. After those 16 games, 64 games total, cut to the top 16 who make it to match play. So hopefully I can throw a lot of good shots, figure out the lanes. Earl Anthony pattern has been a little bit tricky for me in the past, so hopefully I can figure that out and make it into match play for the World Championship. Be cool being in the top 16 for 3 of the 5 events. So let's see what happens.